You might be getting a raise soon, but not from your boss, from Washington instead. Listen, right now a wave of tax cuts is being proposed, and even if only half of them pass, they could radically change your paycheck, your investments, and ultimately your path to freedom. But here's the truth no one is talking about. Tax cuts don't guarantee wealth. Because without strategy, they'll just get eaten up by lifestyle creep, inflation, and future taxes. So in this video, I'm going to show you what's actually being proposed, how it could directly impact your money, and how to turn a once-in-a-decade opportunity into a long-term advantage. While everyone else is just celebrating slightly bigger paychecks, you're gonna get wealthy, my friends, so let's dive into it. Now, first off, my name is Ryan D. Lee, and this is the Wealth Outside of Wall Street YouTube channel. I help driven individuals, people just like you, break free from the system and take control over their money to achieve financial freedom in 10 years or less by using the same strategies that the wealthy have been using for decades. If you're tired of working half the year just to fund the IRS, tired of gambling on Wall Street, and ready to build wealth on your own terms, then my friends, you're in the right place. So if you get value from this video, smash that subscribe button and share it with someone that you care about, because friends, they don't let friends retire broke. Now listen, the good news is there are massive tax cuts on the table right now. President Trump is pushing what he calls the one big beautiful bill, and only the way that Donald Trump had said it. If passed, this could include things like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, a $5,000 baby bonus, a 15% corporate tax rate, and possibly no income tax whatsoever for anyone earning under $200,000. Now, we've heard big promises before, but even if a few of these pass, they'll reshape the tax code and ultimately trickle into your wallet. So let's break it down. First, let's talk about the family-focused tax cuts. I mean, a $5,000 baby bonus, I need to go back to square one again, my friends. This would be a one-time payout to any new mothers. It's a clear push to fight our declining birth rate. And if passed, it could signal the beginning of a policy-driven baby boom. In fact, the U.S. birth rate has been below the replacement level since the 1970s. Without immigration, we'd already be shrinking like China or Japan. The next thing that's being proposed is expanded child and child care tax credits. This is where most people miss the power of credits versus deductions. A deduction lowers how much of your income is being taxed. A credit cuts the actual dollars that you owe, dollar for dollar. This is real money back in your family's hands. The next round of tax savings are business and investment tax cuts. These are my favorite. If you're an entrepreneur or even thinking about starting a business, this next section could change everything. 100% bonus depreciation, retroactive to 2025. This allows businesses to fully write off big purchases, equipment, vehicles, and even real estate in some cases, all of it in year one. The simple translation of this, my friends, is you grow your business and you lower your taxes at the same time. You combine this with a 50% corporate tax rate for US-made goods, this would make the US one of the most attractive places in the entire world to run a business. Critics will say it only benefits corporations, but let's be honest, more profit equals more reinvestment equals more jobs, and more jobs equals more overall wealth for the American economy. Listen, this has so many benefits inside of it, and it's going to benefit everyone as a trickle-down effect. The next round of tax opportunities I want to talk about are individual tax cuts that hit home. These proposals affect your everyday life. No tax on tips or overtime. This is a direct raise for millions of workers, especially those in the service industry who put in long hours, weekends, and holidays. Work more, earn more, keep more. I love that equation. The next one is no tax on Social Security. Now, I'll be honest with you, I have mixed feelings on this one because sure, it helps retirees, but Social Security is already a transfer from the younger generation, poor workers, to the older, usually wealthier generation. But still, for retirees living on fixed income, this one would hit hard in a very good way. The next one is auto loan interest deductibility. Just like on your home mortgage, you'll have an opportunity to deduct the interest that you're paying on a loan. Now, the danger of this is it incentivizes people to go out and take loans to buy cars that they probably can't afford, but the benefit of this is understanding leverage and using fixed interest rate debt to acquire the assets and the things that you need and getting a tax deduction for doing it. And then the final one, the big one, is no income tax for anyone making under $200,000. Listen, my friends, I remember the first time my personal income crossed $100,000. I felt so rich. I felt like I had made it in life. Now, that was several years ago, and inflation has made that number a little bit less relevant. But if you're making under $200,000, This is a real advantage for you. If this happens, and it is a big if, most US households will pay zero federal income tax. Now, this is a showstopper. The boost in spending, investing, and even saving for the future it would trigger would ripple of prosperity all the way across the board, but only if you have a plan to use it right. Now, here's the problem with all of this. Most people think about taxes in just one way. How much is coming out of my paycheck today? How much real money do I have to spend on the real economy that I live in today? Now, I get it. This is the world that we live in, the here and now, but there are really two games to the tax code that you have to understand. Real wealth builders think in two timelines. How do I lower my taxes on the income that I earn today? And how do I eliminate taxes on the income that I'm going to live on tomorrow? So in order to do this full justice, let me break this down a little bit for you. Step number one on really mastering the tax code is lowering your taxes on your active income today. The average American works until late April just to cover taxes. That's called Tax Freedom Day, when you finally stop working for the government and you start working for yourself instead. That's a third of your year gone just to pay comprehensively all of the taxes inside of your life. But what if you could reclaim even part of that? That would mean more savings, more investing power, and more speed toward financial freedom. Here's how you do it. Number one, optimize your business or employment structure. This will give you more advantages to take advantage of inside of the tax code. Number two, use deductions, credits, and real tax strategies that are built right into the tax code to lower your taxes on expenses that you're normally going to have. And then number three, intentionally create a budget surplus. Spend less than you actually make and keep some money that you can set aside for the future. This is the money that you're going to use as a tool to buy your life and your time back. This is financial freedom, my friends. Now, the objective in step number one is to lower your tax rate as low as you can possibly make it. Now, in some cases, you can get your tax rate all the way to zero if you're willing to use the bonus depreciation and the things that we talked about that are being proposed for this year. But for most people, you're going to have some of your money going to taxes, and the objective really is to pay taxes one time, to lower that tax rate on your active income as low as possible. And then step number two is eliminate taxes on all future passive income. Where most people get this wrong is they listen to CPAs, they listen to attorneys, they listen to people who don't have any stake in their future. And when they start saving for the future, the idea of retirement, they use things like IRAs, they use things like 401ks. And what these accounts do is they make your CPA look really good today, right? Because you get to take a tax deduction today. But in reality, my friends, it's not really a tax deduction, it's a tax deferral. All the money that you put into those accounts, that's money for the future. That's money that you're saving for a future stream of income, and you're putting it into an IRA. You're taking a deduction today, but you're shifting your entire tax liability to the future, the very thing you're saving for. Think about this for just a moment. What is the purpose of all long-term savings? Why would you forego spending money that you could otherwise spend today? Well, it's because you want to spend it at some point in the future. You want it to grow, and you want it to give you an income stream that allows you to buy your time back. And if you're shifting your tax liability to the future, unless somehow, some way the IRS disappears tomorrow, it's likely that you're going to retire in a higher tax bracket, not a lower one. But at the very least, why would you want to take the IRS into the future if you don't have to? The objective of step number two, after you've lowered your taxes on your active income, is to eliminate them, not defer them, but to eliminate them on all future streams of passive income. We do this through the system that we call the passive income machine. This is why we use things like high cash value life insurance, real estate, whether you own it or you control it, and in some cases, things like solar or oil and gas, or things that kind of pop up every now and again on the tax radar that allow us to get deductions or tax-free wealth on the back end. Now listen, my friends, I want you to consider this. If you can eliminate taxes off of your future income, what this means is you're already 20, maybe even 30, possibly even 40% closer to financial freedom than you otherwise thought possible. Most people, just to generate $100,000 in after-tax income, will have to take out $130,000 to $140,000 of tax-deferred wealth, pay the IRS first, only to be left over with $100,000 of spendable income. But what this ultimately means is if you can lower your taxes today and shift all of your wealth after you've already paid taxes on it once to the future and never pay taxes again, then you're that much closer to financial freedom. Let that sink in for just a minute. Look, I hope these tax cuts go through. I really do. But hope it's not a strategy. Washington might change the game, but understanding the rules of the game as they constantly dynamically change depending on who's in the Oval Office, what laws are passed, and what the government needs in terms of their annual spending All of the tax code is constantly changing. It's a game that you have to understand, and the better you can play it using real predictable strategies, the more money you actually get to keep. So my invitation for you is simple. Keep more of your money today. Work smarter, not just harder. Invest with intention and build income streams that the IRS cannot touch tomorrow. That's how you win in any economy. That's how you build wealth outside of Wall Street. Now, if you want help building your very own tax freedom game plan where we show you exactly how to lower your taxes, grow your wealth, and create true tax-free income, I've put some links down for you below. I've given you some calculators, I've given you some other trainings that you can go and watch to understand how the passive income machine works. It's a system designed to help you build and create 6 figures of tax-free income for the rest of your life. And not wait until you're 65, but to do it in 10 years or less. Now, if you found this video helpful, and if you're ready to lower your taxes, then do something about it. Share it with a friend, because friends don't let friends retire broke. And join me on the next video.